All right, welcome back. So we've got a lab for you. The lab this time is called Weatherpics. I'm going to start off just by showing it to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and kick off my solution here. So what Weatherpics is it's an app that lets you add things. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Add. And I'm going to create a caption that's just called like Blue Lightning. And then the next thing it wants is an image URL. So I had to go copy an image URL just so there'd be something on my clipboard. And then I'm going to hit Command V to copy it onto my iOS clipboard. And then I'm going to click in here and say paste. And it's going to bring in an image. That image might be a blue lightning. I actually don't know what that image is. And I'm going to hit create. In the detail view controller, the table view controller, it just shows you the caption only. So I typed in blue lightning, but then when you drill down into it, you can see it was showing a loading message, and then it says blue lightning, and it shows wherever that image was. Also, you need to be able to support landscape, just because you might want to show more of the picture there. I'm totally welcome to however you want to do it with where the caption goes. If you want to put it on top, that's fine with me. I chose to put it on bottom. I chose to leave a thing here. Just make it look good, right? I mean, if you want to integrate it in with the picture, that's fine. My only requirement is that the picture always maintain its aspect ratio. I hate it when images get stretched. So that's one thing you need to be able to do. So you need to be able to add a quote where you type in a caption, and you need to also be able to type in a URL. Another thing you need to be able to do is, if you can read this, it says image URL or blank. You are also going to need to add a feature to where if you hit create and there's no image URL, you just kind of get a random image with it, right? So here I've got an image of, looks like a crazy tornado, right? You do need to be able to edit these things, but you only need to be able to edit the caption. So do not let them edit the URL. That's just a feature that I chose to implement just so that you could do it, right? And so here I'll say crazy tornado. I think that's what that is. And then there I've updated the image. You do need to set it up to use core data. So, if I stop it here and I hit play, it's right back. So core data is just like it did before. You do need to be able to implement deletes, right? So just like it was before. You do need to be able to have a special message for no weather pics. Here I'll just add something back and leave it blank again. You do need to add that random thing, and you do need to be able to show the images, right? One thing about the images, you'll read this in the lab write-up, you're not saving any images. You're just keeping a string that points to where it's at on the web, right? So to be honest, this lab is very, very similar to movie quotes. It's actually more similar to the follow along than I typically like. But I decided that there are just so many new things that I really kind of wanted an app to let you kind of think about these topics again without a ton of changes. I mean, we added some things. We added the random image when there is none. We added that, you have to display an image view, so that's kind of new. I also really like this feature of where it's showing a spinner until the image comes in and then it's over it. So you have to figure out some of those details. But there's a lot of information over in the lab handout. I'll bring that up right here. So, definitely go through and read the lab handout and make sure you understand all these details. There's some good advice in here about how you load up an image. You'll have to modify this for your code, but this should hopefully make it pretty clear how all these things work. And then the other thing I'll say is make sure it's very similar to movie quotes, but make sure I cannot search in your app and find the word quote, and I cannot find the word movie, right? So start a new project and bring in pieces as much as you'd like, but make sure you don't leave the word quote or the word movie hanging around. I want you to be thinking about how this goes through again. And if you leave one of those words, it's clear you didn't even look at some of the things you brought in. But I will say that the code is very similar. All right, so that's all we've got on the description of the lab. Here's some information about getting a random image URL, and then when you're done, you'll submit your work on Moodle. So that's it for the lab description. That's the end of this unit. Once you get that lab done, hopefully you've learned a lot about core data, drill down table views, alerts, dialogues, right? And hopefully you can really get a lot of these topics under control. All right, hopefully you like this unit. Go do that lab. See you next time.